Call the Board of Selectmen's meeting to order at 7 p.m. with a roll call vote. Glenn Dion.
Here.
Danny Golden. Here. Jeanette Stewart here. Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America,
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. The second paragraph should say, present was attorney Rob Sandella from the firm of Donahue. And I don't know how you worded this, but it says Tucker and Simidella are special counsel, so I think it should be present was attorney Rob Sandella from the firm of Donahue, our special counsel for the telecommunications legal work, who is assisting us in the hearing, and also present Ms. Tucker or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying?
No.
Well, it
Attorney
doesn't...
Sandella is from the firm of Donahue, Tucker and
Right.
Sandella, right? Yes. So that's what I said, he was present.
Then there shouldn't be a comma after that if it's all one name. Is it all one name?
It's a firm, Donahue, Tucker and Sandella.
Okay. Because the Tucker, I thought you meant yourself.
No, it's
Okay.
the firm of Donahue, Tucker
All right,
and
and then at the end it should say, legal work who assisted us in the hearing. It should say who assisted us in the hearing. And then way down at the bottom, up about 3 because these aren't numbered, it should say if any other cable company should come forward, they would have to come. It just says come to the town. It should say come before the town.
That's the same line, Patsy. It wasn't just cable companies. I think it would fit any other provider because like Fairpoint game, they're not actually a cable company, but they may be providing access to cable program.
It's to take out cable company and just say provider.
Provider, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Danny, do you have anything? Glenn, do you have anything else on the public hearing?
No.
Can I make a motion that we accept the minutes of the public hearing with correction?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The minutes of December 19th? Way down at the bottom, it says representatives from school care will be meeting with the board and commissioners on January 5th. I think we should put it 8:30 a.m. And on the second page, near the top, it just says attended the Scrivener trustees meeting. I think it should say the town administrator.
It's under his report.
Right, but I think it should say the town administrator and Selectman Dion attended the Scrivener trust meeting. And then down at the bottom, the last paragraph says Mr. Lyford wanted to proceed with a warrant article. I think it should say petitioned warrant article.
I had a question on the old business, on the fire department roof. It says another quote was received for $40,000. I thought that another quote was received for $44,000. thought the number was 44,000,
40 plus installation,
plus
Right.
4,000.
but that's 4,000.
So 44,000.
44,000.
Not 40. Change that number to 44,000.
So take out plus installation?
To include.
To include 44,000 to include installation.
Any others, Glenn?
Nothing out of it.
Danny? I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of December 19th with corrections.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Old business, the health insurance contributions by town employees. We had discussed this at the selectmen's meeting that we had at the Booster Club. The utility commissioners here and the water and sewer commissioners are here to speak if they'd like to. If they have anything they'd like to say. Last time that we had the meeting, we had said that a 5% increase to start with, and then possibly go for steps from there, maybe a 1 year 5%, next year 10%, next year 15%. And that was what we talked about at the last meeting. So, do any of you have anything you'd like to say?
Yes, Madam Chairman. My name is Kendall L. Hughes, Chairman of the utility electric company. We should be talking about increases of taking out insurance. It should be in a public forum.
It only has to be at a...
Check with your attorney. It should be in a non-public meeting.
No,
I'm checking
we
that.
already checked.
It only has to be non-public if it's anything to do with the union,
No. Anybody.
This does
Individuals.
not have to
We're
be-
doing with individuals.
We're not dealing with individuals.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not, we're dealing with a town policy. We're not dealing with an individual. We're not dealing with Dan. We're dealing with a town policy that covers every employee, not an individual employee. Every employee is a non-union contract. This is not an individual, doesn't fall under that criteria. It's
Okay.
done in a public meeting. This is a public.
The Ashland Electric Commissioners and the Ashland Water Sewer Commissioners have full control over the wages or anything we do to, and that's according to RSA.
What we're talking about tonight is public knowledge. What we're talking about tonight is the health insurance for the town, for every employee of the town, which includes union employees. That's what we're talking about tonight. The town has a right to be here. It's the right to know law. The town has a right to know what we're talking about and how much we're going to save the town and what we want the employees to do.
How can you discuss a union contract in front of the public?
We're not discussing any union contract. We're discussing health insurance, but some of the union employees they have health insurance with us.
Oh, yeah.
We're just talking about health insurance as a whole, what we would like.
Ashland Electric Company has gone forward and as of January 1st, 2012, are deducting $20 from non-union personnel per week. Period.
I guess I have a question as one selectman. I don't know how the others feel, but when 3 of the selectmen signed the settlement agreement with the utility commissioners of water and sewer, the agreement was that we would let you people be involved when we had to make decisions about health insurance or something that concerns all the employees. But it worked both ways. It also, we were supposed to be notified and we were supposed to be able to participate when you people were going to make decisions. But I guess you made that decision without us.
Yes, we did. But this does not affect the town employees. It affects the electric, which is part of the town. It does not affect the highways or Parks and Rec. It affects the, and there's an RSA that backs us up.
But it affects the town, it affects the town budget, And the agreement that the selectmen signed with you was that the selectmen would participate in anything that you did, and the reason you're here tonight is that we let you participate in whatever we did.
So that was,
Dan, do you have anything you'd like to say?
I'll let him finish.
that was like if you're changing the insurance policy, going to another company, stuff like that. You do not
No, it wasn't.
set our rates.
You don't get to pick what you want and what you don't want. You made an arbitrary decision to change how your employees made a contribution to their health insurance.
Right.
That's a town-wide decision. That's
No,
what
it's not.
is made by all three
No.
boards together.
No.
It is not to be pick and choose as
No.
you feel fit to ignore the contract and agreement you signed.
I understood it to be by RSA that what we were doing was okay.
Dan,
It
did you
was,
read this?
except for this agreement that you signed, then supersedes it because that's a legal document. And that legal document said that you, us, and the Water and Sewer Commissions would get together when decisions were made that were going to affect the town. That decision is how your employees are going to pay their health care, which should be the same type of payment across the board for all employees, which would be a town decision. Not an arbitrary, when it fits our needs, we'll follow the document. When we don't feel like it fits our needs, we're going to ignore the document. That's not how it works. That's why we invited you here to talk about it. You should have invited us before you made that decision. I mean, I didn't sign that, but somebody did. That's legally binding to all three parties, the Board of Selectmen, the Electric Commissioners, and the Water and Sewer Commissioners.
I did not sign it either, but there were 3 selectmen that did sign it, so the majority of the selectmen signed it. I'm just really disappointed that we, in good faith, invited you people here tonight to participate in the decisions we were going to make about health insurance, but you went right ahead and made decisions without us. You always said it was the selectmen did not involve you, it's the selectmen's fault, it's the town administrator's fault, whatever. And that is not the case. Okay, what we were going to talk about tonight is to vote on...
Yes.
Kendall, would you please raise your hand? If you wanted to talk.
There's a man out there.
John?
The Utility Water and Sewer Commission was not invited to this meeting, and I'm told now that, what you just said, that all the county employees are affected by this.
They were invited to the meeting.
No, we weren't.
Yes, you were. You even
No,
posted
it
it.
came out as a memo of the Electric Commission.
It was even posted that you people were coming tonight. Because we
No, we did not, Madam Chairman. Because if you reread the article, it only affects non-union employees of those utility departments. So if there was a non-union employee in the water and sewer department, yes, they would have been invited.
but
But
the
we were not
water,
invited.
the water and sewer are on the contract.
Well, that is correct, but I'm going back to Article 2.5, and I underlined it there where it clearly states that where it affects the non-union
So
employees
the
of those
elected
departments.
commissioners were the only ones?
Yes, because the
Okay.
superintendent and the office
John, I take that
assistant
back. I thought the water and sewer.
is
We
the
don't
only...
have any non-union
I'm
employees.
sorry about that. I knew you were on the contract, so that's why I thought that you were invited.
So we weren't invited.
I stand
So I'm here in
corrected.
the same boat as they are.
Yeah, I stand corrected.
You only have one employee, John, that's
We have
not
one
on the
employee,
contract.
she's union.
She's union.
She's union.
Sandra, do you have the RSA for,
Kendall, would you please ask to speak if you're going to speak? Let's not, I mean, we don't let other people just speak, so,
Can I, Madam Chairman, can I say something, please?
yes.
There is a position for Sandra Coleman up on the seat was there, put there for her because she is electric commissioner.
I'll go on there. Can I hear Kendall's question?
Yeah, are you coming up here?
Yeah, but if I need to get something, I'll go out to my car.
Kendall?
That's fine.
what's that?
She wanted to hear what you,
Did you have the RSA
Or,
that says that we set the compensations for the electric department?
I don't have that with me, but
Okay.
it was in a, it's, It's RSA 3820. It was also at the deliberative session on February 12th, 2000. It was passed and it went to the ballot in March, and it was passed in March that we could do that.
But we also have a contract, a settlement, which we selectmen signed, and the agreement was that if the commissioners were going to make any decisions that affect the town, they would let us participate, and that's the reason you people are here tonight, to participate with the health insurance.
What, I'll have to reread the contract, but if I remember correctly, we did sign that contract, but I'd have to read.
It's right
been a
here.
while. That's fine. I would have to read it.
Okay, health insurance contributions by town employees. I think it was kind of a consensus that we would start off with the 5% and maybe have, go from there, maybe a, 5% 1 year, 10%, 15, whatever. But I think it was a consensus that we start with the 5%, was that correct? Danny? Do you want to just go with the 5%, or do you want to work like at a step, like maybe 5% this year, 10% next year, 15%, something like that, or how does the board feel?
I think 5, 10, and 15 is, in 3 years is a little aggressive. I think 5, 7.5, and 10% maybe, over 3 years. That's a little steep. That'll, in 3 years, get us closer to like the teachers are paying here. I think they're paying like 12% now.
We'll be paying 13, I think it took them 6 years.
They couldn't do it.
Jeanette, is this on?
No.
Does it work?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay. I just came in, so.
Yeah, no.
So,
It's still not on.
It's still not on.
I didn't think so.
Well, I think yours is working.
Okay, now it's on. Jeanette mentioned 5% for the first year, and then maybe 10 and 15. My comment was, I thought 5, 7.5, and 10 was better over a 3-year period to start the process. 10% puts us closer to, just for an example, because they're in our town, our teachers are currently paying 12, they're going to 13. 10 will get close to what their number is, and then the board at that point can readdress it. Of course, the board next year can change it anyways, but I think that would at least get the ball rolling is to start with a 7, 5, 7.5, and 10% for the next 3 years. So in 2012, it'd be 5%. 2013, 7.5% contribution, and 2014, a 10% contribution by the employees.
I agree with what Glenn said, because the other ones were a little too aggressive, I think.
My only concern, the reason that I thought that the employees should do 5, 10, and then 15, my concern is health insurance could go up. And if they're only paying 5, 7.5, and 10, and the town's not really gaining. So if health insurance goes up, I figured that if we did 5, 10, and 15, and that would compensate for the health insurance going up. By the way, so that everyone here will know, I kind of figured it out roughly today when I was in the office with Anita, and 5%, if the employees contribute 5%, that's going to save the town about $10,000 a year. Just to let everyone know.
Individually, what does 5% add up to?
Well, 5% would be different for each one, because you've got a single, and then you've got a 2-party, and then you've got a family, so it's going to be different for each one.
So,
You don't have a formula? Single person would be this much, family, so on.
we still gotta have a 5%.
We do. I don't know if I have it with me or not. Glenn, go ahead. Is it on there?
Yeah, it's on your-
The savings or the costs per employee per week will range anywhere from $8.11 per week to $21.90 per week, based on what kind of single person would be $8.11 at 5%. Looks like two persons would be $16.22 per week, and a family plan would be $21.90 per week, contribution by the employee.
Thank you, Glenn. That was the reason that most of the towns now are doing a percentage anyway. Nobody is doing a dollar figure. But the reason we wanted to do a percentage is it would be fair, because a person that has family is costing the town more. They're getting more coverage, so they should be paying more than someone that has a two-person or a single.
Madam Chairman,
Hello?
what about the people that have buyouts? Are they going to be deducted? If you go percentage, we'll say 10%, are you going to take 10% away from the 25?
I can't answer that because the buyouts are with the union, so that's something
No,
I
they're not.
cannot talk about.
Nope,
Our buyout is, if you have a buyout, I don't know about it.
we don't have a buyout. You have a buyout.
That's right.
He's the road agent,
I'm sorry, he is not a union member anymore, but he was.
right?
Okay. I would imagine we would have to deduct that off there, the same as when the insurance changes, then it's lower.
Explain why you want to put 5% percentages going down. It's fair for everybody.
That's what I did.
That's 100.
I just did that. You didn't even. Okay, would someone like to make a motion, or would they like me to make the motion? Glenn, since it was your idea, would you like to make the motion?
Make a motion to make the contribution for the employees for the year 2012 at 5%, 2013 at 7.5%, and 2014 at 10%.
I second the motion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Paul?
Madam Chairman, what is the effective date? What effective date would
I
be?
think the effective date would be like April 1st, once the election is over. Is that correct, Glenn? Is that what you want?
Should make a motion for the emergency.
Do you want to put that in the motion? Okay. Can you put in the motion the effective date is April 1st, 2012?
Second.
Okay, motion carries. We just added that to the motion, so. You're welcome. Would the electric company like to talk about that sometime at your meeting and maybe go along with the rest of the town and do a percentage? Is that a possibility?
We can discuss it.
Okay.
So we're set on, what we passed, effective January 1st, 2012, $20 a week. But we'll discuss it.
We will discuss.
Okay, thank you, Dan. New business, parking and signage outside the town library. We had talked about this before. There was a 2-hour parking limit, and we did away with that, mainly because, people for some of those businesses are there more than 2 hours, like Ashland Insurance, those employees sometimes are there all day. Some of the library employees are there 3 or 4 hours. I don't think it's the 2-hour parking that's the problem. I think the problem is the signage. And the signage is up against the vehicle, and which you have a right to do what you want with your own vehicle. I would like to make a suggestion tonight, just as a citizen of Ashland. I would like to make a suggestion that the people that are concerned about it go to the trustees of the library. See if the trustees would let these business owners purchase a very professional V-shaped sign so that people from Holderness could see and people coming into Ashland could see, and have it in the corner by the stone wall on the library land. And I think that would probably help alleviate the problem. Problem with the signs, the reason they have the signs up there is because nobody knows that there's a Layton's, that there's a dollar store, that there's a John's restaurant, that there's Sherry's Beauty Shop, that there's the laundromat. So my suggestion would be to go to the trustees and see if you could do something like that, and that might solve the whole problem. Alice?
The library trustees do not control the land. That comes under the Scribner trustees.
The Scribner trustees is who I met.
The town owns the land as well.
I don't believe the town owns the land. Do we? We own the land and the building? But do we have to get their permission to do it?
Yes. They run the facility.
But we have to get the Scribner trustees' permission to put a sign there. Okay. I think that would be the solution. Alice?
The library trustees had a couple of other suggestions that might be amenable to everyone. The library's open 25 hours a week, which is not a lot of time. So if there was a possibility of reinstating a 1 to 2 hour limit that would be enforceable just maybe in 3 or 4 spaces right in front of the library, would be one idea. Or during, as in Holderness, if you've noticed, they have signs that say library parking only during library open hours. So that would only affect 25 hours a week, maybe 3 or 4 parking spaces in front of the library.
That's a suggestion, but we'd have to look into it before we could do something about it. Thing is with the 2-hour parking too, they can park there, if you have 2-hour parking, they can leave for 5 minutes, go back and park there for 2 hours again. Chipper?
Isn't all signage normally covered underneath the zoning board?
Not for signage up against the vehicle.
So what specifies signage?
Well, if it's up against your own vehicle, it's your own vehicle. You can put what you want on your vehicle.
It's on the road, not up there.
It's on the vehicle. It's leaning up against the vehicle.
Leaning up. Bottom,
Or some of them put it on the top of their vehicle.
bottom on the ground.
It's up against the vehicle.
Oh, it's splitting hairs.
Yeah.
And the,
But we checked, Paul checked into it with the town council. Glenn, do you have anything to say?
I still think the ultimate solution is to put a 2-hour parking back. I wasn't on the board when the board voted that out, but when they voted it out, I told you that when I was on the board, that I don't think it's a good idea. Parking is the #1 issue for any small town, and turning over that parking. Right now, we're in a depression. Businesses aren't as active as they are. Should we start to get businesses back into town and start to fill those office spaces and fill some of the empty buildings and put people into those businesses? Those parking spaces have to turn over. And not having a parking ban is going to kill us economically in the future. Today, it may be fine, but 2 years, 3 years, 5 years is going to be a serious problem. We've already seen a small abuse of it, for lack of a better word. I understand the police department says they have a problem, in trying to police it, and it takes a lot of time, but, oh well, that's what you got to do. If we are going to revitalize at any point the downtown area, we have to be able to have those parking spaces. They have to be able to turn over so that those businesses can't survive on 20 cars parked there all day and won't continue to have vacant storefronts. We have to put it back in and get a parking, get that stuff turned over. That eliminates what we're dealing with right now, and in the future, it's going to open up parking and turning over and more customers for our businesses in the downtown area to survive.
But if you do it with one, then you're going to have to do it with everyone.
yeah, I think, I go downtown every day, maybe twice a day. And yeah, if you have to be able to park, I can find a parking place just about anywhere in town, except on those days that the restaurant is open and the dollar store is open, it's in front of the library. And it seems to me that one issue, the issue is in front of the library. So there's no other problem in town, parking. So